what is the coronation? Like, we're blowing the shofar, it's God's coronation. What does that have to do with anything? So, when a king gets coronated, so there's trumpets that sound, but there's also more that the king does. The king gets paraded through town, and the king usually throws out like gold coins, and the people pick up the gold coins, and they say, "Long live the king!" They scream, "Long live the king!" So, imagine the king's walking out one time, and instead of throwing gold coins, he's throwing out diamonds. And, people, you pick up the diamonds. But imagine somebody does not pick up the diamonds. That's a chutzpah. That's a disgrace to the king. It says, God, the king is throwing out diamonds here and you're not picking up. Says Reb Shimshon Pincus. It says, Rosh Hashanah, the time that's coming up right now, is God's coronation. And God is throwing out diamonds to everybody. We have the ability during these times. You have from Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot. You have all this time. You have the ability to gain so many merits. There's like so many mitzvot. There's a spiritual power in this world that you could get to where you always wanted to get over here. But if you're not picking up those diamonds, if you're not working on yourself, if you're not doing the tshuva, if you're not taking upon yourself those extra mitzvot, then it's like that king who's throwing the diamonds and you're like, whatever, I'm good. I don't need it. It's a disgrace to the king. There was once a king that had a very, very far away province. And in order to have a good rule on the province, he had to set certain criteria, and he set policemen, and he set judges, and he sent soldiers over there. And one particular, time, there was a person that went and, he violated one of the sins, one of the violations over there, and he was brought in front of the judge. And the judge, according to the letter of the law, he had to sentence him to a very, very serious decree, very, very serious, sentence. And the guy started begging, goes on his knees and says, "Please, my dear judge, I'm begging of you. I have a family, I have kids, I made a mistake, I'm sorry, I'll never do it again." Goes and he begs and he begs and he begs and he begs. And the judge says, "What can I do?" He says, "It's out of my control." He says, "I'm following the king's orders." He says, "If I let you go," he says, "the whole place is going to fall apart. The whole place is going to go. What can I do? I can't do anything about it." And he had to go and he had to sentence him. A short while later, the king comes visiting this faraway province. And this guy in prison hears about it. He begs, he's like, I need to see the king. I need to see the king. And he goes in front of the king. And he goes and he starts begging. He says, "The king, you could do anything." He says, "I beg you, I have a family, I have, this, I'm so sorry what I did. Please grant me clemency." The king looks at him, reviews the case, and he says, "You know what, I grant you clemency." The ministers go over to the king and says, "Listen, you can't do this." He says, "What's going to be if, the next guy, it's going to ruin the whole system." The king says, as long as I'm around, the system doesn't matter. He says, "I can control the system, I manipulate the system, I can do whatever I want." No one's messing around when the king is in town. No one's messing around. When we're going, and we're going every single day, we're doing sins, we're doing mitzvot, we're doing things, God judges us. There's judgment that is always happening throughout our lives. And it gets judged through a particular, way, set of laws. But when God is in town, when God is being coronated, the laws can be bent. The laws have the ability to go and bend. God says, "I'm in town, I'm getting coronated now. I can decide I want to bend the rules, I want to change the rules, I can do whatever I want, but it has to go according to the laws." It's not when I'm in town. When I'm in town, when I'm around, anything goes. And no one's going to go a step out of whack.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.